Welcome back, Careblazer. In today's episode, I want to talk about the importance of the words and the labels you use in getting your person with dementia to be more agreeable and accepting of what you are offering. Right now, I want you to imagine maybe somebody from your childhood who did not treat you nicely. Maybe they were like a childhood bully. For example, let's say their name was Jim. No offense, Jim. Now, if all of a sudden you met somebody and their name was Jim, you might have a memory association with that name, and that association is not going to be very good. Now, because you have a fully functioning brain, you are going to be able to separate out your previous memories and associations with a different Jim to the person that is in front of you now, to this new Jim. You're going to be able to separate that this Jim is a different person. And just because they have the same name does not mean this person is going to be a bully like the one from your childhood. But for the person with dementia, that can be much harder for them to do. And this is really important when we talk about all kinds of different things in caregiving. So for example, let's say your loved one has a hard time taking medications or they don't like taking medications. Now, I've done videos in the past about how to approach a situation like this and increase somebody's willingness to take medications. I'll link to them below in the description. But for now, in this video about names and labels, I would encourage you to think about how else could you refer to the medications? What else could you call the medications? The words we use are incredibly important in getting somebody with dementia to be more open and willing. For example, maybe you could call them vitamins. The same is true. Let's say somebody with dementia is having a hard time eating or not getting enough nutrition. And maybe they have Ensure, like the nutritional supplement Ensure or Boost. There are so many other ways to get somebody to have better nutrition than those two things, but let's stick with me here. So let's say those are the two things that they are being recommended to drink, but they don't really like them. Well, instead of calling it an Ensure or a Boost, which doesn't sound very enticing, perhaps you could call it a smoothie or a milkshake, and simply calling it something different can at least get that person with dementia to be more open to what you have to offer. So I want you to think about all the different things that your person with dementia has been resistant to or not really open to hearing, or anything your person with dementia has a negative reaction to. And I'm wondering how you could change up the words or the names of that thing. So for example, let's say somebody has a negative reaction to adult day healthcare. Well, that doesn't really sound appealing. That doesn't sound enticing. I don't know any adult who's really going to be open to this idea of daycare. But could you instead refer to it as a social club, a clubhouse, a country club, a volunteer organization, school? I used to have a patient I worked with who loved going to adult day healthcare, but he thought he was going to school every time. He loved learning. So we would say it's time for him to go to school, and he would go to school. And the employees there were so great because they always had him do some sort of worksheet or something when he was there. And he would come back with his worksheets from the day and share it with us. So we never mentioned adult day healthcare to him. We mentioned he was going to school. Now, when you come up with a different word you're going to use to help make the person with dementia more agreeable or accepting, or at least not as resistant to it, you can use any word you want. You can even make up a word. It doesn't necessarily matter the word that you use. What matters is they don't have a negative association with it. You also want to be considering what you know about your person with dementia. So for example, if your person with dementia has always been a quiet, introverted person, maybe in the past they've enjoyed reading books, you're probably not going to want to refer to the adult day health club as a social club or a country club, because that insinuates a social crowd and they have never been a social person. You could, however, knowing what you know about them, perhaps refer to it as a library, and absolutely you can ensure that there will be some books there for them to read, and that might help them be more receptive to it. Take what you know about the person with dementia and take a guess and be creative in how you want to refer to some things. Names are important. Just like you have some negative associations with certain names, your person with dementia will also have some negative associations with certain names and labels. Even though this is a simple approach, don't underestimate how powerful this could be as you're trying to be creative and explore new ways to encourage your loved one to be more agreeable or open to something. Have you ever had this experience in your life before where something your loved loved one has been resistant to or has been against, all of a sudden they were more open to when you called it something else? Let me know in the comments below. And if you have an idea of something you are going to change the name, change what you call it, I'd love to hear that in the comments below too. You might spark and give another idea to another Careblazer looking for a label or a word, or helping them brainstorm new ideas. So go ahead and leave that in the comment below. Help each other out. I will be back next week with another video as always. However, for this week, focus on, experiment with, be open to new ways of talking about things, introducing things, and simply realizing the power of the words you use can make a big impact on the person with dementia. Bye. Also, Nico gets a belly rub for every person who subscribes from this video. So if you haven't already, click the red subscribe button. It's totally free. And Nico says, thank you very much.